through it, and we beat the shit out of them, and they got really salty. Because, like, they're kind of a... I guess if there were pro teams in Paragon, they would be a pro team, I guess. So, they all got salty about it, and, like, in one of the posts, they were like, one of them couldn't scrim because he was casting the event that I was doing this weekend. And then I was like, well, isn't that event just, like, shitty? I don't know why anybody would want to cast that. Just trolling them full out. What?
Dire team ban.
What?
Radiant team ban.
Oh shit, I have to play ads.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I'm gonna start playing ads now.
Radiant team pick. Seconds remaining.
You can do the intro, I'll give you a countdown.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team.
Juggernaut.
Radiant team pick.
Three, two, one, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the KOD League Season 2 Grand Finals. We have Freedom versus Duop here today. I'm Xerox, joined by my buddy Pithy and Goom. We'll be bringing you this entire best of 5 today. How are you doing today?
I'm your buddy now.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
I've been streaming for 42 minutes already, and we're finally getting into our first game of the best of 5 here. Eagle having a little bit of issues with the PC, but luckily he is here now, and Duop already being pretty nice given Freedom all their reserve time.
Yeah, Freedom was about 3 minutes from a forfeit, and
a game 1 forfeit.
Yeah, a game 1 forfeit. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Freedom did progress through the upper bracket. They will be having a 1-game advantage in this best of 5, so they're going to start out 1-0, and already really getting into some very huge differences here with the drafts. Duop's draft looks like an extremely standard opening right now with the meta. Underlord is arguably the most contested hero among the tier 1 scene right now. Juggernaut, a very strong pick as well. Freedom had first pick, but going with a totally Freedom Dota hero, grabbing the Abaddon. So we're going to get to see a little bit of a clash of styles. Duop playing for standard style and Freedom playing Freedom Dota.
Yeah, Freedom going with a very tanky start for themselves that they've run this quite a bit actually. BSJ on the Doom and then IX Mike Abaddon. We've seen a lot of teams banning that out, and perhaps if Team Freedom are able to do well with that here, we're going to see Abaddon getting banned out in some later games. But yeah, they're going pretty tanky and just playing off the fact that if they get some big items up first and don't die in the early game, which they probably shouldn't, they're just going to be really difficult for Duop to actually take down here.
Well, it's actually really interesting. Doom is one of the squishiest level 1 heroes, and Abaddon's not something like an ogre, that is extremely tanky. They tend to get tanky through their skill set with Scorched Earth on Doom and, the Aquatic Shield on Abaddon, and the sheer amount of items that Doom can pick up through the extra farm he gets through to power. I believe Doom has 0 base armor. So both very, very squishy in the very early game, but something like a Pitlord or an Underlord, sorry, be Valve correct here, kind of struggle a little bit to actually get the game kills before those items come online. Underlord's huge strength just lies in the fact that he can get an extremely quick mech through jungling and holding his tower through Firestorm, and just coming out with this huge pit of malice that just seems impossible out of. I'm actually, this shows how much these teams have each other when you look at Duop's bans. Leshrac, Weaver, Ursa Silencer. The only one of those that's semi-meta for a ban would be the Weaver, and even that is usually left on the table. But all of those are things Freedom ran, they good on, they're very scary with. Freedom's bans looking much more standard. Shadow Demon, Darkseer, Disruptor, Ember, all fairly top heroes right now, barring maybe the Disruptor pick there. But I'm really excited to see how this game goes. We've followed both these teams through multiple leagues we've casted, and to see them meet in the grand final again is a good thing. It was good last time, it's good again this time.
It has been good in the past, although Team Freedom, they haven't really come across too many challenges on their way to this grand final. And as we've casted them in the PD Cup as well, like ever since that patch came out, Team Freedom have been absolutely dominant. And when they try, they're really not losing out on too much. So I would expect them to do well here. In terms of the bans, interesting that Freedom want to take 747's Ember out of this one. He still has his Shadow Fiend available to him. There's also a chance that we see a sniper from Duop.
Yeah, I would absolutely love a sniper here. I think Shadow Fiend's a little too high risk, low reward right now, especially when you can't grab like the Shadow Demon to go with it for the defensive saves, because Doom is going to just wreck you pretty much at all stages of the game. Can't go BKB, can't really go a Shadow Blade in a competitive game, and I just think it's really high risk when there are much safer options. Like you said, the sniper is a great pick here. Pit of Malice is an amazing peel ability to make it so that the heroes are going to struggle to get to it. And the amount of damage a sniper can put out from the backline is insane.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be a little bit difficult to point down the heroes that Team Freedom have right now. But he should be able to provide that extra damage boost from the backlines that might allow Duop to do well from the early to mid game and then keep that damage going late.
Seconds remaining.
Also an Earth Spirit here for Duop, and I'll try to not call that guy an Ember Spirit as I have been known to do in the past, but he's going to bring some control into this one. Possibly... Actually, I'm not even sure how this Earth Spirit's going to work here. Is there a specific reason that he's being picked up against these two heroes? We'll have to see how those are able to work together. I'm still not really feeling the Earth Spirit. I think he's going to have a hard time actually doing enough damage to take any of these heroes down. I mean, Doom, definitely very tanky to start the game. And if Team Freedom put another hero into the offlane with Abaddon, which... okay, we're going to see a GB IO. So, generally, that's one of the things that we see banned out early from teams against Freedom, but they're actually going to be able to pick it up third here. And this is a hero that Juby absolutely excels with.
Oh, he is world renowned on it. It is
10 seconds.
pretty much universally accepted he is one of, if not the best Wisps in North America. He was known playing it back when he was on MVP 6. He's played it on all iterations of Freedom. And as you said, it's been pretty much consistently first phase banned against Freedom almost every single game.
So, Team Freedom, they have a Doom and an Abaddon. That should be more than enough to work with this IO. They'll probably put him... The way that Juby plays it, he usually goes into the jungle first to get a little bit of farm with the spirits, and then... I mean, he can rotate around the map pretty well. I mean, I don't think they're going to be getting another hero that generally works well with an ISA, like a Tiny or a Morphling or something like that. We're probably not going to see any of that.
Wow.
It's actually going to be a Shadow Fiend for Tomato, as you were just trashing that hero. Team Freedom are going to pick it up.
So I do like it slightly better against the Ops team because Shadow Fiend can build against that lineup. Problem with trying to pick it into a Doom is no matter what you buy, he can still press R on you, and then you don't get your ult off, then you can't get raises. Essentially half your heroes on, and the way that Shadow Fiend's been played, it's been very, very reliant on his ult, unless you have that Shadow Demon. Saw a few times in Dota Pit where they had Shadow Demon, so SF went stuff like Butterfly really early. just raw stats. But without that defensive pairing that has those illusions, you're pretty much relying on those raises and that ult to really get your damage going for the first 30-40 minutes of the game. Freedom is going to just look to come at them hard and come at them fast. I really going to be on the Underlord on Duop's side here. If he gets a quick mech, he can stifle so much of this aggression from Freedom. But if he struggles in lane and really have the ability to go Talon jungle, then they are going to struggle.
Yeah, I think you are right. Duop, it's really going to come down to the Underlord, maybe versus Abaddon matchup. There are a couple of heroes that can take advantage of that. Generally, IX Mike, if he ends up going against the offlaner, he does pretty well there. I mean, he's definitely up on his 1v1s.
I want to see BSJ spec. I know he usually plays the Doom, but I want to see the Doom as a 4 here. He's so good. But
I just don't know if Team Freedom do that.
They really don't. See Skywrath being ran. That's another really popular Eagle hero. Yeah, I mean, his silencers banned out here. They've ran that at like every position touch at one point or another. Their options left are kind of limited. They need to find some damage, right? Abaddon doesn't do a lot of damage inherently. He's mostly procedure. That will give them some damage, and might be BSJ playing it. They ran support eventually.
I will admit that I've seen BSJ play it a little bit more than Eagle.
Yeah, and I think you almost need. If you look at your lanes, Doom isn't really going to do anything as a carry to zone out Underlord, and I don't think accelerating the Doom's farm that extra little bit is really going to change the pace of the game versus a Vengeful getting an early Dom Dragonlance and then just running at you. I really like the pick from them here as long as it's ran as a carry. If it's ran as a support, I think they're going to run into the same problems I mentioned where they're going to struggle a little bit to find damage. Oh, who's the Invoker? I like Duop's draft, but it's very cookie cutter.
So you're just going into that like draft prejudice type of thing that you generally do sometimes when you just don't like a draft.
They
like,
got 3 extremely high tier heroes in the Underlord Juggernaut Earth Spirit. I mean, those are very contested at all stages of the draft. Freedom's draft just screams freedom. Hey,
That's
like
probably, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how it couldn't scream freedom, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not so sure if the Earth Spirit's been so contested in COD League so far. I think more on the higher tiers.
Yeah. I mean,
more
you
of a thing.
have certain people like Jerax at the top tier that are known.
Oh, he's
for
just
that
been running
hero.
it forever.
Yeah. But let's get into the game here and see how this goes. It looks like it is going to be an Eagle Venge, so I mean, I gotta say I'm slightly favoring Duop here with the draft. I think Freedom may struggle to find the damage to really get through the early game to the point where Mike gets to play the Abaddon in the style he wants, where he can just sit on a building all game and win. But again, I think a lot of this is going to come down to the Underlord. He can get a quick like level 5, say, so the Firestorm starts killing off creep waves and holds towers longer, gets back. I think they're in okay shape. I think Duop's looking good.
Yeah, the Underwood generally is going to get tanky, and yeah, I definitely can get some good damage with the Firestorm early. But Team Freedom, I think it's going to come down a lot to the laning phase, honestly. Like, Underwood, if he ends up going into a tri-lane, which he very well might be, if depending on how things end up working out here, like, he's gonna have a little bit more of a difficult time to get his farm started, but so will the Abaddon. So both teams might just opt for the 1v1, let them duke it out, and then try to go try because I think Duop, they should be a little bit more interested in trying to shut down BSJ, who can tend to struggle early on the Doom.
Yeah, and we can't rule out the fact that got Wisp, right? It's a hero they hardly ever get to play in actual competitive games anymore. You know, if they've scrimmed with it a few times lately, the new Roche Pit is pretty much everything Jubei could ask for in the way he likes to play Wisp. His whole like signature move, right, is tethering somebody early on in a fight and reloading them just to a different position. Like the team fight's gonna happen here, we're gonna just like maybe they're up here, and then they just move him to the back of the pit. Like somewhere that he just has a different position and they have to readjust all their supports and change the way they're taking the fight. And it's just one fight single-handedly from that. I remember an iconic relocate when the rush pit was over here, where he pulled him up on this hill, and the uphill just won them the team fight. So you can't rule that out ever. It is a scary, scary hero, and there's a reason that it gets first ban every game.
Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic on it. But the thing is, the way that he's been starting to play it now, where he just goes for farm with the balls early, getting a quick level 3, it does tend to sack BSJ a little bit, which is...
Well, he's not doing that this game. He took tether at 1 already.
Okay, well...
They're gonna run him
doing something a little
off,
bit different.
Or a full aggro try, one or the other. Because one of the issues you have with Duop here, Jubei is going to grab that bottle very early on. He already has 550 gold. Once he gets that bottle, it's very, very difficult for Duop to actually go on anyone but him. Because the tether bottle is going to just heal you right up through all the Blade Fury damage. And they're even making an aggressive move to the rune.
Yeah, they're going to be going up to the enemy's bounty spot, and this should let Duop know that BSJ is pretty much all alone here at bottom, but the only one going over there right now is the Earth Spirit, and Barry is just going to sit close to the mid lane for now, possibly get some pressure off there. He already has the Orb of Venom, but that's going to be 3 bounty runes going to Team Freedom right off the bat. That's
Game's
capitalism at work.
Yep. That's like 200 gold advantage right there. Game's basically over.
So Eagle's already going to be starting at the mid lane to try to stave off the aggression from Duop. Invoker definitely does need the help here, and with Eagle going in, there will be a roll out. He's slightly off the mark with it, and he just immediately starts to slow down Eagle. Stun comes out, and Beery takes a lot of damage from it, possibly a little bit more than he cared to.
Yeah, and we've seen this kind of play a lot, even in 0.8x, basically, where you have somebody just sit mid lane and help them out for the first wave or two. Somebody like Shadow Fiend it really help, because he's got to build up these souls. His base damage is so bad at the very start of the game, and if you can feed him just, you know, half of the first wave and he sees souls, he'll take that XP hit of having to share a lane every single time.
Yeah, and how do you feel about Shadow Fiends going for the raises first? That's something that we see 747 do quite a bit, but Bell has chosen to go for, or sorry, Tomato, just reading what I see, is going to be going for Necromastery first. What do you think that going for raises is going to get you in that early game?
I don't think you're going to get help, you take, because you got to get to your bottle. Without your bottle, you struggle. It gets really hard. I think we've just hit a point where the matchups just get pressured way too much to just sit back and farm a lot of the time. But when you have a baby here like Eagles Grim, you can afford to take Necromastery at 1 and just build those souls up really early.
Yeah, so with a little bit of help that Tomato's getting on the mid lane from Ven, she's managing to get the early pressure.
Mike's in trouble.
Yeah, Mike at top, but he does have an IO there to help him out. It's getting blocked in by the creeps. He uses another aphotic shield there. Juby has to be very careful, and IX Mike will be the first blood, just way too far out for Juby to be able to help him, and maybe a little bit unlucky with the creep wave there.
Yeah, it boxed him in entirely. He had no way out other than to run all the way up, and at that point he was good rolling from Bury. Kind of sealed off the path he wanted to take.
And he might keep putting the pressure on the top lane, waiting for that bounty rune to show up so that he can take that away from Freedom as well. GB starting to walk over there. He gets actually overcharged next, so realizing that he's going to have to help Abaddon quite a bit. Oh no, that is a little bit of BM from Biryu, knocking GB away from the bounty rune with the kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's what he had to do. Otherwise, Jubei would have grabbed the rune and just ran to Mike and tethered away. But yeah, no, good play by him. That was a cute little rolling boulder. Jubei knew he was there. He did ping it out, but yeah, it didn't matter. Not really a way for him to grab that rune.
Over at bottom, Snake King versus BSJ. Snake King getting through the levels right now. He's got 2 into the Atrophy Aura. Eventually, when the Firestorm levels get up, Snake King should start to be able to zone BSJ out of this lane, right?
Well, he doesn't even need to.
Oh, sorry,
Wait,
out
with
at
it-
mid, we've got the Sentry Ward down. 747 will end up
Wow.
dying to a gank squad.
And it even forced 747 into taking the quality build where he goes 1-1-1. He tried to ghost walk out of that.
Meanwhile, Ix might taking another death at top, being left all alone, no one to really help him, and sometimes the Witch Doctor cask is just a little too much for solo heroes to handle there.
Yeah, and what this comes down to here is sneaking really gets a true 1v1 against BSJ. The Firestorm helps zone him, sure, but Atrophy R just makes it so hard to last hit. Like, it gives this Underlord such a massive right-click advantage over you that to last hit you almost have to like mess with the creep equilibrium or do some shenanigans to even get anything there. Sneaking's gonna body this lane until someone comes down.
Interesting that BSJ has gone for his first, or for the Devourer to go onto the Frost Witch. He's going to get a slowing attack.
Oh, man.
I guess that's interesting if someone comes into the lane, but I don't know if that's going to help him all that much.
Yeah, I just think it was grab. The hard camp looks blocked. Very close to it with that sentry that Radiant put down. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was. I think it was just an opportunity thing. He grabbed what he could.
Maybe he would have wanted something else, such as the Kobold, which gives him... I know that BSJ is a big fan of that creep. Gives him a little bit of speed to move through the Firestorm.
Yeah, he definitely is. This Radiant Observer ward that got placed down by Buryu has been huge in the mid lane. It's stayed up this entire time. It's provided a lot of vision when Eagle's just been sitting up on the cliff. It's been extremely good for them.
Yeah, just getting a little vision of the Freedom rotation. Spear you looking for the rune over at top, but it's actually going to be a double damage rune at bottom for now. BSJ has been forced pretty far away from the lane. He's up to phase boots right now, popping a shrine all by his lonesome self. A little bit selfish with that, but I guess Tomato didn't really need it all that much. And the supports start to move back over to the top lane, where IX Mike has been kept pretty much under wraps here. Up to level 4, UR is slightly out leveling him at this point. And IX Mike doesn't have nearly the amount of farm the Underworld does. Meanwhile, on mid, we do have Tomato end up dying, but BSJ finds the return kill. At least a little bit of revenge on the supports. Meanwhile, at top, it's going to be UR trying to back away from Abaddon. And that casting zone made things extremely difficult for Freedom. Eagle getting killed up quite a bit thanks to Juby. And they won't be able to find a kill there. And right now, Snaking's just taking a huge advantage out of this map. We talked about him, this matchup really. He's been really able to get a lot of farm. He should be getting his mechanism very soon. And we talked earlier about him getting tankier. Well, he's definitely well on that road like right now.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Alright, well there will be a gank on the mid lane. Oh, nice tornado thrown out by 747, but that will not be nearly enough to keep him alive. Reyes gets thrown out by Tomato to find another kill there. And those Firestorms keep going out at bottom.
Yeah, this is one of those games that, you know, everything looks like it's for the most part going right for Duop in the lanes. They are really taking control. Underlord's way ahead of Doom. Juggernaut's way ahead of pretty much any of the carries on Freedom. And so Freedom's kind of having to do these rotations really early on and try to pressure 747 for return kills with TPs. Otherwise, they would just get beat out here. But they are doing a good job of keeping themselves in the game through rotations.
And Eagle's going to be throwing out the stun to Biryu.
He's trying to juke it so hard.
There will be a stun, and the roll comes out. 747 will be able to make it there. Eagle runs right into it. Eagle just trying to throw out one last remnant of a stun, but he's not going to be able to. So, yeah, like you said, most of Duop are taking a pretty big advantage in the early game, but generally that hasn't mattered too much to Freedom in the past. Ix Mike will get healed up so he doesn't die from the Maledict, but generally, even if they don't do too great in the early game, Freedom still find a way to make it work for themselves, and they still manage to come back in the mid game and win a lot of key team fights.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes into the way they die early game. I know Space Created's a running joke, right? But like Tomato saw how Eagle was going to get gone in there. He pretty much knew he was going to die 40 seconds before he did, but chose to go farm 2 neutral camps instead. No save your teammate syndrome going on, no like wasting farming time to go help. I mean, even with Mike, they've kind of just sacked him. Dies again.
Yeah, they're sacking Mike, they're allowing the Underlord to get farmed, and the only thing that they're really contesting is 747. Is that kind of a big game plan for Freedom, as we see the Underlord also taking a lot of damage from the Dune? There's going to be the magic missile keeping him in there, almost thinking that I hear a bristleback around here with a bunch of snot being thrown around, but no, that's just an Underlord dying, and we're not going to see his green stuff on the map anymore.
Yeah, it's
I swear
less,
I heard a bristleback.
less about killing and more about who's dying. They made sure Jube is still deathless. He's progressing towards his level 6 very quickly.
Oh, now he's
BSJ
gonna gank out
also-
onto Tomato, though. He's gonna get caught out by the stuns and the silence, but he's got a cold snap still on him. He's seemingly pretty tanky, though, with those raindrops. He'll get picked up by the tornado, and one more hit from... He tried to do everything he could to try to survive, popping this off, getting Juby to come in. Juby might actually still be able to get the kill with Piryu. Taking too many tower shots. All right. I guess he might have gone a little bit deep for that one. But yeah, Tomato was trying to do everything he could to stay alive. His team even coming in to try to help. It was a little bit unfortunate that he expended so much and got so little out of it.
Yeah. It was, but I don't think they're too upset about it. BSJ is still firing extremely well in bottom, going his favorite item of the patch, Helm of Dom. He is extremely close to it at this point. So he'll have that up here in the next minute, and I'm judging from the way Freedom usually plays, that's the go button. As soon as he gets Dom, they'll group up this 4 or 5, start trying to sweep these T1s, and really just kind of take control of the map and the game.
The other thing is, Doom has a built-in comeback mechanic as well with the Devour, so he's going to get a little bit of extra gold from that. If BSJ just keeps farming, he's got the possibility of coming back here pretty well.
Yeah, Doom, when you run him as a... Oh, it looks like it... Maybe.
Well, they already see the D ward. 747 won't get the one on the high ground. Eagle trying to deny it away from him. X-Mike's still trying to stay alive at top. He does have level 6 again, saving that point for the borrowed time for when he actually wants to use it. Thinking about going in on
my gosh. Pauses, man. The pauses.
Yeah, there have been quite a few today. I was hoping I would get out maybe a little bit early in case the series went a little bit fast, but I don't think we're having that too much at all right now. We're about an hour past the start time, and we're only 10 minutes into what is technically game 2.
Yeah. Game's just odd. So when you run Doom as a core, the big thing is the fact that Doom can essentially eliminate one hero from the fight, right? You throw it on their one and he's mostly right-clicking. Like, Jug's got an Omni Slash off already and he's spinning when he gets doomed. Okay, he did most of his job, and he still right-clicks hard. He'll probably just commit himself and die there. But you can just knock the Invoker out of the fight entirely. So your carry Doom doesn't really need to be your hardest right-clicker or your highest damage output. He just needs to knock that one hero out of the fight and then start running it. And then all of a sudden you can kind of cause this chaos that forces the fight into a 4v5 instantly. And then if you hit a support with an Inferno Blade, you're basically forcing it into a 3v5 because Witch Doctor's not going to enjoy having some Scorched Earth under his feet and then Inferno Blade burning him down.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of damage that the Doom is able to do there. So, yeah, I guess you do have the capabilities of knocking people out of the fight, and also Doom's very unlikely to get killed off early. I think the real issue here is if he's able to keep up his mana.
Yeah, it is, and we'll have to see what he opts to go for. The Dom does provide some decent stats with all stats on it, and it looks like he is going to go for a Vlad's next. He's just going to go the like Aura Doom build, and that should give him all the mana regen he needs. He may still run into some team fights where he's doomed and Scorched Earth, and he's on 3rd or 4th Infernal Blade. But you know, that's just one of those risks you got to take, and I think the build path he's going is basically just setting them up to do this little death ball thing they like to do.
No, that's a nice little flower. My main point with the mana problems, though, is this Invoker in the fight. If he can hit a big EMP out, like, sure, Doom has the possibility of doing so much with his damage, but if he has no mana, thanks to that, he's kind of up the creek without a paddle.
He is. I would imagine with how sacrificed Mike has been, most of the tethers are going to go on the Doom, which can recover that mana pool extremely quickly. But we'll just have to see. I mean, fights can be very, very dynamic when you have a Wisp in the fight, and I would imagine eventually Doom is going to go something to either a Shadow Blade or a Blink, so that he can get on top of the Invoker before the Invoker just sit back and Tornado EMP. But we shall see.
There's definitely a lot of control for him to be able to set those up if he needs it. Generally, team fights, though, they come pretty easy for Freedom.
Yeah. It's definitely been their forte, but Underlord almost has mech. He's looking at about a 10-minute mech here. And it's going to be a little bit hard, I think. Freedom just grabs their Dom on Doom and grabs a creep and tries to go. We do see BSJ did grab the speed R. Found one.
Oh yeah, he found the Kobold. The Kobold Foreman. Best creep in the game.
Yeah. Check the stats of everyone that goes Dom or everyone that's played Doom or anything. I'm sure he's the only player that like deliberately goes and looks. Most people grab satyrs, right? Standard. You're gonna get a purge creep, you're gonna run at somebody. He's just like, nope, I want my move speed, man. Gotta go fast.
Yeah, he's got to go fast. He's got to go fast like Sonic. You also notice that he's got the phase boots there. And I feel like Doom is BSJ's wet dream. Like, he's got basically two creeps to get. Like, I almost feel like if BSJ weren't forced to be a player or, like, forced to pick a hero, he would just play a neutral creep in the jungle the whole game.
Maybe, man. Maybe. It does sound kind of like him. Do we have any cool talents on any of these heroes? Let's see. I mean, you obviously get the 50 health regen on Underlord at 25, because everyone takes that. Most of these are pretty standard. Like, the Doom one at 25, I think a lot of people thought Infernal Blade would be fairly good. It does add 2 whole % to the Infernal Blade burn, but Ancients have just been buffed so many times with their abilities. Just devouring one of those things is so insane.
I haven't even looked at these talents so much, partially because I haven't played the game as much because of stuff. But I didn't even realize that Doom could devour Ancients. That just sounds so ridiculous.
Wow.
It's like Lifestealer 2.0.
You're really on the meta right now. I like Wisp's talents. At 15 he gets 10 mana regen, at 20 he gets 20 health regen. So he can actually just be a mobile fountain. All those talents going up.
I think we should just see more IO Hand of Midas builds. How long has it
Resisting the
been?
urge to all chat so much right now.
Oh man, I want to all chat too.
The best part is if you panda Yawar, he's mid-spin animation, so you get to just hear the spin.
Yeah, I already did. I don't even want to talk anymore. I just want to read this all chat.
I know, right? So, again, these are teams that have played each other a lot. Everyone knows everyone on both of you. I think I have 9 of these players on my phone. Like, they're gonna just talk so much shit through. They are just relentless about it. I mean, Ube and Mike both have a penchant for being a little mean and hitting below the belt sometimes. 747. Your hands clean.
Is this like Dota Pit or something?
Slane's intense. Oh, I love when these teams play each other. It's just so great.
Oh god. This is not good. I mean, if Trump is here, Yawar might be deployed or something.
Wow. Fan.
No, I mean...
Ian is an ass. We'll not be working with him again.
It's a real issue. Which is the sad thing. It's a sad thing that is actually an issue. As I like to say, all humor has some element of the truth in it.
I mean, there's one upshot here. No matter how long this takes, it's not going to be an 8.5 hour final like Dota.
No, for sure.
So at least there's that. And we've had such good tournaments too lately. Like the high-end scene has been so smooth, really. We haven't had a ton of delays. We haven't had a lot of problems. Dota Pit's been the worst since Shang. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just how it goes. Oh man, we got my boy Nusham in the chat now. That's Leviathan Nusham. Those that don't know.
Are they in the team anymore?
Right. Doesn't matter. He's always Leviathan.
I know that Jenkins has been playing with Team Red.
Yeah. No, they've all bounced around. They've all done their things here and there, but part of Leviathan, always Leviathan. I bet my PC crashes as soon as your war types go.
Isn't like Eagle paying for his time at the LAN center as well?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't like cost him money to do this?
Yep.
Do you think this is some kind of strategy by Duop to make him
ice him
pay
out,
more money
make
to
him
play
broke?
this game? Yeah.
Yeah, if you run him out of money, then you win. Right?
I think that's what it is.
Get the sponsor on the phone and like wire some money to the LAN center to keep him going.
I only looked at the clock at like 6:30, but I'm pretty sure we've been paused for more than 2 minutes at that time, so... Oh, look, he's back!
He's back.
Oh my god, he's back! Well, hopefully we can actually restart the game sometime soon.
I just don't want to hear the spin animation anymore, man.
I mean, that's your choice.
So we do see 747, even with all the struggles, has managed to get the phase boots and a recipe for the Hand of Midas already. So he's going to close in on that around 10 minutes, which is very impressive timing with the amount of pressure he's under.
Yeah, it's pretty
Way
admirable.
ahead
He's
of
already
Shadow
gotten
Fiend.
2 deaths, but he's been involved in 3 kills, actually taking them for himself, so... Okay. This is good. We're not going to be starting again soon.
Disaster. Apparently everyone in chat is really Juggernaut.
I'm not. Are you looking at this actual stream? I'm not on Juggernaut.
No, I just have it on.
No, I've not been looking at Juggernaut because I don't like listening to it either. Almost worse than listening to myself. Feels bad.
So 10-minute prediction. Talk about it right after draft all over again. Who are you giving the edge to right now?
Duop, because Snake King's just like actual boss right now.
I mean, he is pretty big, but Yawar's
Are you
3-0 as
calling
well.
him fat? He's just big boned.
Maybe.
It's rude. Can't call people fat anymore.
Is that not politically correct?
I don't know.
I mean, if you take the MMRs, Duop definitely. At 747 sitting at what, 8,500 now?
MMR is just a number. I mean, any team with IX Mike on it probably is going to lose out on MMR though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just how
Wasn't
it goes.
there a time
man.
when he was like 4K when he was with Liquid or something?
No, it was never that bad. Never. I think the lowest MMR high tier player was Mason at TI when he was 5.1 or 5.2 when he played for EG.
I wasn't aware there was another pro team that he was with.
Ouch.
I mean, he could be with a couple of NA teams, but I would never call them pros.
Wow. You're savage. I'm curious to see how the NA qualifiers go for this upcoming major.
I'm not.
You know, I was... What do you already know what it's going to be, or
I
do you just
know
not care?
it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
I don't know. I was just saying that. You don't need to call me out on everything.
I have to. Well, I
Oh.
mean, it's pretty obvious EG and DC. I think that part is pretty firmly established. The kind of on the cusp one is definitely NA. They did pull top 8 at the last major, which in CS would guarantee you a bit. But in Dota, we know that's not the case. I believe we have DAC coming up before the major. We just had Dota Pit. I mean, it's if they can pull off 1 or 2 decent finishes, I think we might see the first ever time NA gets 3 direct invites. They can manage to do anything well at DAC. I think they'll be in good shape. And that's going to just open the door like wide open, because at that point you've got Complexity, who's kind of been the gatekeeper for NA
the spin's
for a long
over.
time. Oh, nice. We got to play Dota.
Actual Dota. It will be interesting if NA are able to snag. I don't even know if you can call DC an NA team though. I think that's another issue.
Well, as far as the slots though, it is.
Yeah,
who
for
gets to
sure.
go.
Because they would
So-
be playing in the NA qualifier. So
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because, I mean, is Complexity strong enough to be the gatekeeper again this time? They've a little bit of weakness. They've struggled to perform a little bit lately. And Freedom has just been stomping a lot of teams this patch. And Duop's had some
for
good
sure.
performances as well. I think it could be a really interesting series between like those three teams in the qualifier if NP secures an invite slot.
But for sure, in the qualifier, we're going to have a couple of these teams that we've been seeing a lot in, say, KOD League, PD Cup, teams that are getting to meet each other quite a bit, and Ice Mike might be caught out at the top lane. He has that extra level. Will pop the borrow time with a couple TPs coming through. Ice Mike throwing out the missile. Eagle is going to be there, but Duop have already retreated quite a bit. Magic Missile coming through. BSJ is going to be moving up here. He's got the Doom available, throws out the
He's so
blade
fast.
out there, and
He's so fast!
I mean, he's looking at 422 move speed, just a little bit, 502 with that, with the phase boots. He's like a friggin' race car right now.
He's hasted when he's tethered at this point. Like, that's insane. You're 11 minutes into this game and you can have a guy with an Infernal Blade just running at you hasted with a full Radiance burn of damage.
Radiant structures are
Yeah, I mean, he is, okay, so he's got the Curse of Avernus on him, no phase boost being popped, 425. If anybody comes up to this lane, BSJ is going to chase him right down. He's got the purple sire to tank things up and keep the creep wave away from here. And he walks right over and then just starts hitting them down. This is Team Freedom at its finest. BSJ running around like a madman, taking everything, honestly. And this might actually be where the push starts, even without the mechanism from IX Mike. Like, they're already going towards the mid lane, and we've got the Barry going to the high ground. Eagle can't really fight here at all.
He's so
He will be
dead.
going through, and the Pit of Mouse will keep him in. That is the full frontal attack from Duop, with Juggernaut pushing in the bottom lane.
Extremely smart play from Yawar there. He realized that tower was gone and did the, for lack of a better word, the League of Legends lane swap. He went bottom, shoved the T1, he got almost over half of the T2 as well. All in the time that Freedom was kind of messing around top. So, all in all, a very good trade. Duop, and kind of just understanding Freedom's got the better aggression right now if they choose to run at you and taking alternative lines.
Taking a look at the net worth, though, Tomato is at the top of that, even above Snake King, who's been pretty much uncontested. He's got his mechanism right now, so we're possibly
Nope,
going
not
to be...
anymore.
What?
Gold's on top.
Oh
50
no!
gold.
Come on!
Yes.
We gotta commentate this. One more last hit. Tomorrow's gonna be back on top. And he has also
Yeah,
got his Dragon Lance there.
I mean, incredibly close net worth. The like, top 5 heroes, but then there's just Mike, kind of the one core that was left alone, right?
It's alright. Juby will pass me eventually.
Probably. I mean, Jube has a lot of net worth for a Wisp, to be honest.
He usually does. He's usually pretty greedy at the beginning of the game, getting some spirits out. Admittedly, less so this game, but he's been getting involved as well. He's 2-0-2 already, so he's definitely made some kind of impact on the map. IX Might running out onto the tower, which is going to get dark rifted, or seemingly so by Snaking. He doesn't have the most amount of mana here.
Yeah, BSJ just recognized he was already gone, didn't even go look for him. Can't blast hits. Uh-oh, Mike.
Yeah, they just lose so much mana there. Borrow time will get popped. That stun is not going to hit on the IX Mike, getting caught out in the Pit of Malice a little bit there. And
A little bit of a
Creepwhip's gonna
mistiming from Buryu. If that boulder had connected while he was still in the pit, he would have gotten hit by a second Pit of Malice charge, and they maybe could have brought him down.
It would have
but-
been more borrowed time damage, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You're
not
wrong.
significant, but it probably wouldn't end up killing him there.
Jug is on the hunt with Omnislash right now. Looks like
And he's got the
Eagle's gonna tank
stun out on the
it.
Eagle.
Swap!
Swap will actually put GB right in the middle of the fight, but this is the problem that comes with playing Wisp against the Witch Doctor. They'll pop the Shrine, and the Centaur will die right next to it. BSJ, he is moving so fast right now. He's running with a vengeance. Anyone can try to kill you. Oh, he actually killed himself!
Yeah,
He
he just
canceled
thought the Inferno Blade was gonna come in time. He was out.
Now there will be a relocate forward. Juby looking for him, but trying to throw out the stun onto the Juggernaut. He's going to be undoomed in a couple seconds. He just needs to eke out that nice little bit of damage. BSJ, they're going to forget about him, dropping down the healing ward, but Freedom are looking for a couple more kills. They'll be able to find the Earth Spirit, and they keep moving forward, even with the Magnetize on them. And Yuwara's trying to make his way out. Juby is on 5 health.
Jube doesn't care. Jube is
He's
looking.
chasing him down. Oh no, I don't even know if he realizes that Yuwara is running there. We're going to the mid lane. There's going to be another Tornado Thronado. Makes sense. Tomato dodging the EMP, and he'll make his way to bottom where there is an Earth Spirit TPing in, and Tomato does get him out right next to the Observer Ward. Barry will roll away while that tower is taking a lot of damage. That should be another tier 1 for Freedom, unless, oh, here comes the defense from Duop, and it's so well scouted out by the Observer Ward on the high ground.
Yeah, we see a nice little man fight right now between BSJ and Stu. Just watching both super tanky cores just like hit each other.
Oh no, Eagle. He might have caught out Biryu,
Eagle.
but maybe he's baiting. Tomato's here. Juby's here as well. I don't think the Eagle's going down anytime soon.
Why?
And there's gonna be a swap in, going right on the clear points. Now Eagle a little bit suicidal there. Tomato charging it up though. There's gonna be the Requiem onto quite a few. Tomato is gonna be trying to stay alive, and the mech is keeping them alive for now. GB keeping up Tomato though. He's right underneath the death ward though, and it's doing so much damage. That Death Requiem comes out. Ix might getting the borrow time popped, and he tries to put out the miscoil on the 747. It's basically fruitless at this point though. They fire shield. 747 has to keep kiting it, and Ix Mike will end up dying, and they'll try to Dark Rift out, get out of the time. 747 wants to stay there, and yeah, they'll go to the top lane to try to defend that.
Wow. I mean, that was a very odd fight. Witch Doctor was a little too far back in the positioning, which let Biryu just die to start that fight off. Like, Biryu took a step too far forward, got stunned, there wasn't a Witch Doctor cast to answer, and then it's like Eagle decided, hey, we got one, you know, let's throw it right back. Yeah, that was a very interesting swap. I mean, a great ult from Tomato there, but just doesn't do enough. Like, there's that mech, the healing ward was still alive. It really just got healed up almost instantly.
Healing Ward's been doing a lot of work for Juggernaut early into this game. Checking out what Doom has gotten up to. It's going to be a Shadow Blade for him, so that's going to be the kind of initiation that Team Freedom are looking for. They don't really have that ability, assuming that it's probably going to come from Shadow Blade into a Doom, and then they'll relocate on top of that.
Yeah, I would imagine that looks to be the game plan, and Shadowblade's great if you're going to be like man fighting and running at everything all the time. He may still have to double back as well in the very late game, maybe as like a 5th or 6th item, but yeah, at the moment it's just all run at you Dota from them. Now they've got to find a way to take fights a little better than the last one, or they're going to struggle, because if you're running at a team and they're answering it with 3 kills, that's not a good game plan to win. But interesting little tech choice here from going a straight Lincolns after his Midas, not worrying about going Ags or Blink or Yules, any of the standard options, just really wanting to tank up and be a really difficult force. He doesn't want that Doom just to come out of every fight.
There will be a deny as GP's been super caught out here, surrounded by 4 heroes, gets the tether out, and Yuwara is right next to it. He nearly TP'd away.
Very close.
Meanwhile, Freedom are still pushing in top. They could be going for a tier 2 here, but it's against a Witch Doctor that is probably going to make things extremely difficult for them, throwing out the Cascade, but the Creep Wave has arrived. Dark Rift will come through. Can Freedom back away? Invoker should be able to throw out a Tornado, but that TP takes a little bit too long for him to get there. It's probably just going to be very wistful at this point. Maybe trying to catch someone out, but well, Freedom thinking about turning it back around. It does have a relocate.
Yeah, you can see that the Invoker is looking to go Link. You really want to try to kill him once more before that comes, because once they have that Lincoln's up, it's extremely hard to break. Like, the only breaks they have right now are Mistcoil, which is a short enough cast range that's hard. Swap and Magic Missile. And it's extremely hard to break a Lincoln's on the team. Freedom. Satyr Purge Creep might do the work.
Yeah, possibly as the
Snaking,
Doom goes out of the Snake King. He's extremely tanky here. He won't be able to use some mechanism, which might be more than enough to get Freedom the win. Biryu will be absolutely blown up as Clairvoyance tries to back away. No, stun for another 12 seconds, and they're going to isolate him and absolutely kill him there. TB goes out to the shrine. Buyback from Biryu. He wants to get into this one. As Tomato, he'll go for the ultimate, and he'll be caught out so much here. He is rather tanky, but they're quickly working through his HP. He needs some help from the IO. Biryu, not
back.
yeah, he's not really taking any damage there, and Freedom could not really get in to try to help Tomato there, and they're being chased down by the Purge Creep. Tornado only catching out Eagle, being spun around a right round like a record, and he's going to be chased down by Duop. Here comes a stun. Eagle can't get out. That's going to be a three-man pit of Mouse. A little bit of healing from IX Mike, but there's not really a whole lot else that's going to be going on there. BSJ trying to be kept alive. GB trying to get this guy out. It's saving Private BSJ for now. He might actually try to turn around. He'll be stunned up. IX Mike taking the borrowed time. BSJ is invisible for now. He's got the aphotic shield on him as well as a child, but he really can't initiate right next to the death ward, or can he? Going right for you are, and the Mistborn will be able to slap him down. QB, and not in this fight for now as the Firestorm cleans up IX Mike, and BSJ, he is trying to run away from this one right now, just leg it out as the Doom, and that cast could do a lot of work, making things very difficult for Freedom, but they're right next to their shrine. Dark Rift trying to get them away, 747 being knocked away from them. That's a nice swap back by Eagle, getting them away from the Dark Rift so that 747, he could be chased down right now, but he's so fast with the Wex Orbs, and they get this Ascension Word, and QB just wants to do so much. He has so much to give, but he's not going to have too much to give anymore as he is now dead. Duop turning it around. This is just a very long fight. Both teams going at it, inside, outside the dire jungle, all over the place. They don't really care. Eventually, Duop's probably going to come on top of that one.
I mean, overall, though, that fight was so chaotic and looked to be a clean sweep for Duop at the start. They had a 3v5 going into that, and they were all fairly healthy. But between the Whiskey, Abaddon, and BSJ just being a man, like, they actually turned that into something they probably shouldn't have even gotten. That was some insanely good use of these hills right here. BSJ just running up and down them as he needed to, and kind of playing with division lines, and wow, I mean, a little bit of overextension at the very end there from Freedom, and they did get punished, but that was crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. IX Mike possibly getting cut out mid. We'll get the death word drop down. The swap away by Clairvoyance is, Eagle's going to be getting the Clairvoyance out of that death word, but now IX Mike will be chased down, and I don't really know if that was worth it at all. He will be saved by GB for now. Just sharing the Omni Slash over a couple of heroes, but IX Mike is still staying alive. GB making him pretty tanky, but now the little ball is going to burst. You are chasing him and does end up finding the kill. Freedom getting a little bit too Freedom there.
Yeah, that was a little rough. I mean, Jubei is trying so hard just to cover everyone when they get caught here. It's really hurting for him. That last fight that started so bad, when we saw Tomato's ult come out there, it looked like no one took any damage. The Pit Lord actually flew in his fight as that fight happened and hit it right before the Requiem came in.
Oh, Eagle wanting to go for some plays, is going to get stunned, and he's taking a lot of damage to the face, throwing out the magic missile, trying to get away. That shrine is still active, and he will be able to use that with the Dark Rift taking Duop away. And out of that fight defending bottom, they've just been able to take so much and really punish any kind of split pushing that's been going on.
Yeah. So Mike's got the mech up, going full Guardian Greaves. Invoker managed to finish off his Lincolns, and after all that fight, he never did drop, so he's already over halfway to eggs. His farm is just insane right now. And, I mean, I'm liking this from Duop. They understand how hard it is to break Lincolns, so they're buying more of them. That's got his almost finished here. And it's just going to pose this huge issue for BSJ. He's going to struggle a lot to actually find a productive Doom in these fights.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be very careful where he throws it out. Also has to know who has Lincolns up and when they can be passed around during the fight as well. Makes things so difficult for him. IX Mike going for his run up the mid lane again, but you got to think that he needs to learn sometime that throwing it out, throwing the A5 shield up onto the creep wave is alright. It pushes out a little bit, but he still has to keep himself safe here. His team has been caught out so many times just trying to save him, and it's not really leading to good things at all.
No, but barring that last little 3-man disaster in mid lane. They actually did have the net worth advantage, and I mean, they kind of looked like they had tempo control of the game for the most part. I think they just have to call that one misstep and kind of reset mentally. I think they're still in a fine position. I don't want them to sit back and farm though. If they let these Lincolns come up, if they let Duop get to these core items they need, I talked about how hard it's going to be for BSJ to stay super relevant in team fights, and I don't think that problem is going to get easier. So I want to see them get back on the aggression.
Well, BSJ does now have a silver edge, so that can definitely do quite a bit, especially if he's using it onto the underorder. I think that's really the main one on Duop.
That's the main one. The other one is if he ever gets in a man fight with Jug, it lets you, because you take out Blade Dance. Mike wants to go with him in the Dark Rift, but
yeah, Mike wants to
join
Duop. That's a little bit strange. I thought he was pretty happy with his team.
Mike's quick buy is to be believed. He's actually taking an alteration from his build. He had Guardian Greaves in the quick buy for a long time, but I think seeing all these Lincolns picked up, decided, okay, I'm gonna have to blink range to pop some of them.
Tomato just deciding that he's gonna go right for snaking. He's gonna try to keep fighting within that pit of malice, but that's not really the best place to be. Now I's gonna be picked up by the tornado, and GB is gonna be staying there for a little bit longer. That relocate getting canceled out by SM47. The Sunstrike won't be there. Freedom trying to push the mid lane instead of helping out bottom, as Tomato was trying to, I guess, create a little bit of space for this mid lane push, but the reaction will be quick from Duop, snaking throughout the mouse. Unfortunately, still losing the tier 2. We'll see if it comes to any more for either team.
Yeah, overall, I mean, Freedom, it looks like a good trade. Wow, the Doom goes out here.
Yeah, he got sick of Beardy running all over the place, and now BSJ is going to be caught out in mid. Swapped away by Eagle, who wants to create a little bit more space, but Duop, they only have their eyes on the prize here, and BSJ will be that. He's underneath the sentry ward, and he can't get away from every single thing that's going on to him. Meanwhile, Eagle tries to get out, getting chased down by the Purge Creep.
Got him.
Yeah, it's got him, and the stun will come through from Biryu. Eagle, the only chance that he has is to try to deny himself, but he can't even do that.
Yeah, this is starting to take a really quick down. Freedom. These Lincolns have been extremely disruptive. There's been some weird movements from them that have kind of put them out of position, and Bit of Malice is just so hard to fight. I have to imagine it's getting first ban next game.
EMP out on the Tomato. He's going to be kept in that pit of malice, and once again healed up by Juby, and the Omni Slash going out, Tomato rather, underneath the shrine, actually keeping himself alive with that one, and now Juby next to the shrine as well. They're going to heal up so much. Making underneath the tier 4s, but he doesn't seem to really care at all. Knocked back by Beery, back to safety. Eagle once in on this one. He's going to swap Snake King back, and he'll also get the stun on the Earth Spirit, but they're trying to move through the ice wall right now, and they're just moving in slow motion. IX Mike ended up dying. Tomato going for another ultimate. He's getting a lot of tornadoes throwing out on him, and he's going to keep trying to go for the ultimate, turning around, going for the kill on the Biryu, but he's just taking so much damage. Pit of Malice. Eventually the Requiem happens. To be keeping this guy alive. Somebody kill Tomato because he's going absolutely ham here. Triple ham here. Juby continues to heal him up, and now you are. He'll try to spin away, but he doesn't have a TP any longer. At Lincoln's is still there. Eagle will chase him down. BSJ going right for him. Ultra kill for Tomato. Oh my lord.
Juby is a god.
Absolutely. Those heals were just so ridiculous, and that was the situation where maybe Duop got a little bit too much freedom.
I mean, literally, I think Tomato had to go through 5 or 6 life pools of health there. Like, that was disgusting. He was healed up by Mike while he was tethered. Like, that was a full HP pool at least. The Shrine healed them both, like, twice over. That was absolutely insane. Extremely well played, extremely tanky, awesome use of Shrines, and a little overextension from Duop gets Tomato in a pretty commanding net worth lead for the moment, and lets him actually think about an item past the butterfly he's been stuck on for the last 6 minutes.
When the fight goes so long that I'm nearly seeing the beginning of it on the delay on the stream, I think that's saying something.
Oh, so crazy. Like, it's so weird. I look at Freedom's draft, you know, they have 1 hard stun, they have very little relevant damage, and so the fights just take forever. But that's just insane. Like, they just draw these fights out to the point they win this battle of attrition.
It's so ridiculous. It also helps that Tomato has been farming like a god this match, even though it's just been really difficult for him. He's 8-5-2. He's got 275 last hits, and he's actually up to a butterfly right now, getting that up very quickly. So it seems like this get Tomato farm kind of strategy and do stupid shit the rest of the time for Team Freedom is working out. Can I say that?
I mean, it seems to though, right? This is kind of what we see every, like, probably every 2 games out of Freedom. You're just kind of wondering what they're doing all game, and then all of a sudden they win. Like,
Pretty much.
It doesn't make sense half the time, but it really is strategies they perfected in scrims, and they are feeling comfortable throughout most of this game. I really like this butterfly pickup early from Tomato, just because it puts off his BKB time. You look at Dyer's lineup and you think, I buy a BKB and we're fine. Like, very little of their damage goes through it. It's pretty much just Omni Slash. But if you can hold off on that BKB, if you can not lose a Rax and get to a couple bigger items first, you just become such a monster when that first 10-second BKB comes out. He's going to be doing so much damage in that team fight, and they have no control for him once.
Ix Mike's still creating space. Like, I don't even know what Freedom are doing, but they're delaying this game so much while Tomato continues to get farmed. He's really gonna have to put this game on his shoulders, as the rest of Freedom, they'll run around the rest of the map trying to make it seem like Duop need to take care of them while this guy gets farmed.
Well, and I mean, BSJ, we've seen sheer amounts of damage an Infernal Blade puts out in a 2-minute-long team fight. It's a filthy amount of damage if the fight draws out, and he kind of went the same route as the Shadow as well, grabbing a whole bunch of items, even picking up Boots of Travel prior to his speed. And both of them now doubling back for it, so... Blame Mike.
He's still got borrowed time, and a mechanism, and a necrotic shield, and the rest of his team coming in to help. He needs some vision here. He's not going to be seeing the Ghost Walk. And BSJ wasn't hit by the dust either. Ix Mike getting away from the Sunstrike, and actually Tomato's going to be the one to find the kill. Trying to get away. They do not have the vision of him, as he said, the Wave of Terror being down. So it's only going to stop at Biryu going down, and Freedom are still looking for him.
Yeah, they definitely are hunting. But yeah, this is going to get really hard for Duop now. With it's the same kind of thing, right? Duop picked up their Lincolns, and it's like clunky for Freedom for a little while, and it's going to be the same thing once Freedom picks up both their BKBs. Tomato already has his done. ESJ, yeah, still 1700 away from his, but he'll close in on that incredibly quickly with the Max Devour, and I think Freedom's going to look to maybe pressure that bottom T2, grab the Roche, and then look to go high ground with those fresh BKBs.
That's just how Freedom have been playing a lot of games. They just go for the objectives. It doesn't generally seem to care what happens between them for them, because generally they'll get some items and then somehow win team fights. It's really been the formula for them for ever since that patch came out, when you have those shrines making so much of a difference for the teams. Roshan, it's going to be respawning in a little bit more than a minute. Ix Mike chasing a few Witch Doctor illusions in there. He's going to take those purple men down. Well, they're blue to me, but I guess to him they're purple. Meanwhile, at bottom, BSJ. That's a little bit not too great for Freedom.
I mean, that's just Freedom Dota, man. Every now and then someone will die.
I mean, I think that's the way life is. Honestly, if you want to get philosophical in there.
Deep. That's deep.
Yeah, and Ix Mike is pretty deep as well in the mid lane. He's got pretty much no help. The rest of Duop surrounding him. Maldic will come through. Borrowed time eventually should pop.
He can blink too during this borrowed time. Yules, but he might still have a shot.
Oh, so many Yules at borrowed time.
That was extremely well played by 7for7 there to hold that tornado until the very end. The damage on that comes drops, so the borrowed time proccing that late basically made it so he couldn't get the link off that he wanted to. He actually would have been fine if that tornado hadn't come out.
Could have been fine.
Oh no, Jube.
It's alright, it's just a Sunstrike. And meanwhile, Roshan has respawned, so with Ix Mike being down and BSJ on the silence for 10 more seconds, it's pretty difficult for Team Freedom to defend this at all. So that should be an Aegis going to Duop, and we'll see what they manage to do with that one, while Freedom, they try to keep their lanes pushed out.
Yeah, this may make Yawar brave enough to go ahead and buy out the full MKB right away, which I think would definitely be good for him. Struggling a little bit in the damage department. When you go a Dom early game like this, your damage does suffer, and then he went for a Lincoln, which doesn't add much itself. So he's definitely going to look to get some more damage coming out here. Already with that Butterfly and Tomato, it would be a huge help to have the MKB. So he should be flying that out shortly. Shiva's almost done. Shiva's is done on Underlord now. So Dwap is just so tanky. These fights are not going to be short fights unless you can blow Jubei up right away.
I mean, both teams are pretty tanky. I mean, with Abaddon and we've got Doom in there. It's a lot of health points that both teams have to get through. BSJ all right underneath the Sentry Ward, but he is going to be able to back away from that one without too much harassment from Dwap. Bottom, Clairvoyance gang. Very brave as a lone witch doctor. It might be a tier 2 trade here. But Freedom would have to be very quick on that one and actually, in order to actually get it. And I think that Duop has shown quite a few times this match that he's gonna be interrupted quite a bit.
One of the nice parts about having an Underlord on your team is you can kind of go as a team somewhere, burn your TPs to get there quicker, and then just, you know, Dark Rift in. So it's really hard to take trades against an Underlord when his team is together. Kerr just does too many things. Arms Wall, Firestorm, you can't 1v1 him because of Atrophy. Pit of Malice is just done broken. Basically having a T as his ult. It's so disgusting.
Why is this hero in Captain's mode?
I mean, do you remember when he was launched? Pit of Malice went through BKB.
So they nerfed him a little bit and then put him in the Captain's mode?
Exactly.
Seems legit. I should make a game. I'd be pretty good at it, right?
No.
Let's make it broken all the time. And everybody will play it, and it'll all be good.
Octarine and IX Mike's quick buy. I think it's an interesting pickup this game, and it does let him just spam out more heals on Jubei. But kind of the entire game plan right now.
Yeah, they've been really working with the Abaddon and Io kind of interactions for a lot of this match. Even at the early game, they were getting some heals off with Mistcoil.
Mike is just so deep all the time.
Yeah, he is the definite. If you look in the dictionary, if you look at the word deep, you'll see IX Mike's mustache right there.
Yeah, that's awkward. I'm gonna just let that one drop.
I mean, you can look it up if you want.
So with the Aegis on Jug here, kind of all their key items being picked up, Yawar does fly in the Manta as well as that MKB. They should be looking to go around here with this last, 2 minutes of this Aegis, I would imagine. Otherwise, they're just going to get top shine and farm and wait until the next one. But I don't see them trying to pressure uphill again at a disaster that happened last time until they have an Aegis and the time to do it.
I still have the Aegis on Juggernaut, but like you said, it is a little bit close to closing time on that one, and Eagle has to keep himself alive here. Has been scouted out. The stun's going to be off the mark. A little bit of a stun from the MKB, and now Vengeful Spirit will be nearly...
Oh, the reload save is so close.
I was
like, that's what
just
I mean.
a split second.
Almost every Wisp probably would have reloaded him back to base. Jubei understood the shrines regen you faster and keep you in the fight. He was just going to port him onto that shrine, blow the shrine, and be full health.
IX Mike's running forward. He wants to give that space over to Tomato. Just look at the huge damage that Shadow Fiend is giving out here.
Mike's
He's got
in.
the Daedalus. Yeah, Mike going in, and he's got that Guardian Grease going. Borrow Time will be proc there, as he's just trying to give Tomato the chance to do a huge amount of damage, but Yawar has healed most of it off. He still has the Aegis, so do not back away, and I guess it's going to be permanent now.
They understood their timings. The Aegis is going to expire here in about a minute. They figured, okay, we got shoved off the tower, we did some chip damage, let's get some objective with the rest of this Aegis. The shrine's going to be totally uncontested. So the smoke, though, is very, very bold. This initiation isn't clean from them. This could be a disaster.
Taking a look at our buybacks, it's going to be, for Freedom, it's going to be BSJ and Venge that can get back in here. Not yet for Tomato. He needs 100 more gold.
Assist.
And Okay, BSJ, he's backing away for now, and with Duop not okay, they're gonna get the dust out on him, but he's completely fine. He's moving so fast right now. So much speed with the IO. He doesn't have the Cobalt Foreman any longer, but they're actually gonna go in here just as that Aegis is going to be reclaimed. Eagle looking for the vision that he needs, but he doesn't quite see anyone there. And Freedom, they do not have what they need in order to find any kills. BSJ
might be in trouble if they Dark Rift on.
It's just a Witch Doctor over there. They're gonna Dark Rift out to the tier 3, but BSJ isn't gonna be that greedy right now.
Yeah, I think they could have Dark Rifted the Shrine and ran at him. But either way, taking the safe route, good choice from them there once Buryu missed the initiation and not try to run in and force that one. They really have to be clean initiations. If they're sloppy, if they miss the hard control and let Jubei do J things in the back line, Tomato's gonna rip.
So, I mean, it's been pretty clear against most Wisp teams, you're going to be trying to focus him down or it down if you're really interested in the genders. Just to make sure that he isn't able to get the heals off, which can break things so much. If you can get that hero down, then a lot of the tankiness that we're seeing from Team Freedom, even though some of it will still be there, it's going to be greatly depleted. Duop's still looking for their next move, though. They got to keep that farm going. Very close to taking down IO at the bottom lane. If you're looking at the net worth, it's going to be only 3,000 in favor of Duop. XP is about 5,000, and BSJ getting away from bottom. Buryu chasing him down. He has a Timid True Sight on himself, but he's not going to have the vision to kill off BSJ.
I think we're going to see a very boring game for the next minute. Roche is going to be on an early timer, and once that comes up, the first team to see it is probably going to take it pretty cleanly. When you look at how the last one went, Freedom sat in that pit almost 30 seconds with Eagle to scout it out, and had total position to take it. Uncontested, totally free, and they kind of just got screwed on the spawn time. Late spawn, let Duop take the map control back, and they went ahead and grabbed that one. This one's going to be a little earlier spawn, so they're already starting to check it. Literally the first 10 seconds this could be up, Freedom's already in the pit looking. So I think they're going to jockey a little more heavily for position around the pit this time. But without the shrine up on their secret shop, it's going to be hard unless they want to commit all their heroes around there for like the next 4 minutes.
Sorry, I'm still confused about that timing. It's not going to be up soon.
It's a minute, dude.
That's a minute until the normal timer. It doesn't show you the whole thing.
Let's pretend I didn't just for this game.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Alright. So, the Invoker build's really interesting, though. He didn't go Blink, he didn't go Force, he hasn't gone any movement abilities. He's just been tanky. He went Linken's, Ags, Octarine, and now he's going Sheep. It's like, how many Ultimate Orbs can I buy? Like, he's just pure stats. He's extremely difficult. He's just gonna have like 4 spheres in his inventory by the end of this game, I think. I guess Sheep, though. But either way, no movement might make it really difficult for him. They need a way to close him, and they're struggling to find it. Maybe the Juggernaut picks up a Blink after his Abyssal.
Oh, BSJ might have just found, yep. He wanted to get that Doom out there, and he's going to put a lot of hate onto the Witch Doctor.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's got the Kobold Foreman there too. He's got to keep that Kobold Foreman alive. He does not want to let that one die. Meanwhile, at top, we've got IX getting initiated on. BSJ gets to teleport in, and Eagle's going to be at that fight as well. Relocate in from Juby. Tomato starts to work. He's directly underneath that.
That BKB
off of the Tornado. Snakey will be taken down. No more Atrophy Aura as we got the Earth Spirit trying to roll away, making a break for it. Juby gets back to bottom, and Freedom need a creep wave here. Wish Doctor only down for 1 more second.
Yeah, Buryu may be like a god here and cut this wave if he's really feeling brave. Because they have the ward, they know there's no one around it.
It's not going out right now. So we've got Tomato and GB back at the base. Another relocate in about 40 seconds. So Freedom really shouldn't be thinking about going on to this one anytime soon. A5 will keep the wave pushed out. Now Buryu comes in with the sound on the IX mic. But it's not really going to do too much to him since he's also got the Guardian Greaves there. And Roshan will be up in about 30 seconds. So you were slightly off with your timings, but that's all right.
Tomato is just... He went from, remember how he said he had that BKB a few minutes ago, and then all of a sudden a Daedalus and a Satanic just appeared in his inventory. Like, he's so massive, and just gonna do so much damage, but Mike again...
He's going on such a ride
Dota
here.
position.
Using his own Yules so that he can get the Blink Dagger out. Still has the Guardian Greaves as well as the Borrowed Time. He'll keep putting out those aphotic shields. He will get the Borrowed Time pop there. And
Now he gets another
those illusions
Blink.
will not
Yep.
chase him.
He's so disgustingly hard to kill.
Yeah, well, in any case, 747 keeps that farm going. He's getting even more tanky. He's got pretty much all items, except for the Midas, that, I guess the boots, that put his HP up to 2840, and a huge pool of mana. Going for a lot of stats here. He's got balls in that. Lots of balls.
He does. I always find it interesting when you go a Midas. Eagle did pick one up on Venge, and I mean, they're still living the welfare life. Yeah, he finished a full Solar Crest, but he's really not that far ahead of either of the two Duop supports.
Snake King moving up. He's going to see the Chicken moving across, and the Shiva's Guard will give them no vision of the high ground. He's going to see Ike's coming through as you are. Oh, they're going to get the initiation on the BSJ, and now he is going to get relocated over to the side by Juby. Nice positioning by that. They have to make sure that Tomato stays alive. Here come the crit from
1,000 damage.
down one, so much, and they've killed the Witch Doctor before this as well. Yule Scepter out onto Furyu, who's going to be kept there for a lot more funsies. He can't disjoint those attacks. Jam on the ground. BSJ is not going to have to worry about that any longer.
I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about when I said Jubei Wisp is scary. He didn't relocate PSJ to a fountain or a shrine or somewhere super safe. We'll just put you on the high ground, heal you up, and you'll be ready to go.
And with that kill, they're going to be able to find Roshan. Invoker doesn't have enough damage to take it, and Tomato wants to think about going for, I don't know, wants to go for the Invoker. He's sick of the guy.
Until the Roche actually falls, until the message comes up, Dyer's, might be hanging around, seeing what they do. So Freedom is just giving it an extra second or two to see if Invoker would make another poke into the Roche. If he had a blink, he potentially could have, because he did get every hero in the air. Roche is at about 200 health. Instead, Freedom's going to be knocking at Duop's base for the first time in a long time.
Pretty much for the whole game, actually. EMP taking a lot of the mana away from Freedom. BSJ on the long, arduous journey through that ice wall. Now he's got a cold snap on him. Sunstrike will be there as well. 747 has so much hate for BSJ. Even getting some more stuns up underneath the tower. And BSJ still wants to go in on that one. Tomato also getting some split pushing going on the top lane. And it's time to look at these buybacks for Duop, because we only have UR with it right now. Snake King spending a little bit of his gold. He is very close to having his buyback up, but he needs to get a little bit more involved in the fight before he can have that.
Yeah, and I think with the way Duop's team fight's set up, with the way their whole comp is, don't really have team fights go close. Like, either you kill all of Freedom or none of Freedom. And so the buyback status, when you're that close, is a little dangerous. If you're Freedom and you're 100 off buyback, you're probably going to get one kill. If you get one kill, you get an instant gold, you have buyback. Duop's lineup, like, you're either going to wipe them or you're just... So it's really dangerous to be sitting at that position. He did grind up the buyback gold now. But, man, Jubei's going to give somebody an entire extra again in this team fight because of this cheese. Cheese on Wisp is so insane.
Cheese on balls?
Yeah, for those that don't know, Tether basically amplifies the healing done to your Tether target. So if Jubei's at low health and his target is at low health, pop the cheese and then everyone's full. Great. Hey, sometimes you got to help out the undereducated viewers.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh my god, those creeps look so fantastic in the air with that tornado on them.
I like how they just sit there when they're deafening blasted. They don't even move forward. Wait the disarm duration out. But, I mean, geez, Tomato just is critting creeps for 1,300 already. Just looking to go Scotty to replace the S and Y, I would assume, and he's almost there. He's a monster. That net worth is filthy.
It's ridiculous, actually. Well, one of the shrines starts to fall. Team Freedom finally get the tier 2 off the map, and they get into that shrine goal that they were looking for a lot of this game. Maybe going to be trying to get the other one soon as they push out the mid lane. Tomato still hitting like a freaking beast turret here. He's got the Satanic. He's got so many items here, and like you said, he's going to have a Scotty pretty soon. Buybacks are starting to be all up for both teams, except for some supports that are having difficulty getting the goal to actually have that buyback up. But Freedom start to put some aggression onto the mid lane. Also an AC up on BSJ, so the damage from Tomato gets even further increased.
Scotty's done.
Does he have it?
Mm-hmm.
Getting delivered
it's
right now.
Out right now.
And he just walks right up to the tier 3. Not too much help from his team, and that's probably good with the cast falling out on him. And Earthgear will kick him away and relocate away by Juby. So at least they know that the relocate's down. I guess that's possibly a good thing that came out of that.
Alright, this is a beast right here. Look at him. He doesn't even have his treads in his inventory. He's just like, we're fighting. I don't need to move. I'm a turret. I'm just gonna stand here.
He's an IO as well. He's basically a tiny at this point. He's just hitting these guys from the high ground. So much vision for him.
Wow.
Yes, Jay will be forced out into the base, taking a lot of damage from the Maldic. Death Ward will come out. GB needs to save him a little bit here, but I don't even think that BSJ needs saving. He's so tanky, and he still has the Aegis up.
I don't know why they didn't perch creep in base once he got caught in all that.
Well, he is going to be knocked away a little bit by the Deathwing Blast. He still has the cheese. He's going to tether up BSJ for now, and they'll start to back up. There's also that shrine available that they could possibly go for if they want to, but Freedom decided that they don't really want that at all. And they'll also get the regen rune on Juvie, so that's a free health pool for BSJ.
Yeah, I mean, Freedom's not in a hurry at this point. I mean, the problem you have here is Tomato's done. He can go Moonshard still, but for the most part, his item progression is finished. There's still a lot of room for the Hand of Midas can get replaced on Invoker. The Juggernaut needs to finish off his full Abyssal, and then the Dom gets replaced. Like, there's so much room for growth. And the Aegis is now gone.
Oh.
BSJ. Swapping in a full Shivas instantly. Gotta have more items, you know? So Freedom's pretty much kind of at their apex here. Yeah, you can get another item or two on Mike. Your supports can eventually come up. You have that Midas on Eagle. But for the most part, Freedom is about as fight ready as they're going to get. So I would say we're going to see them either poking at the high ground here prior to this Aegis, or trying to just totally control the Roche Pit until this next one. But they do need to look to close this game out in the next, say, 10 minutes. Or you may start to run into some difficulty as Duop continues to grow.
Really? I don't know. I feel like both teams are kind of getting close to that point. The net worth is, I guess, a little bit on the side of Freedom.
Well, and if you look at the items on the Crystal, like, Jug went more high-tier items, the MKB and everything. The Abyssal costs a lot of money, and you put that up yet. And then eventually that Dom gets ripped. So he's got
oh no, they're going to go for the gank on the BSJ, who is going to get dusted here. He BKBs and tries to teleport out. They're looking for a stun from UR, but they're not going to be able to find it.
If you had the Abyssal. That's what I mean. It just takes time. If you do up, you still have plenty of utility to buy, plenty of other items. So Mike is just trying to solo this shrine right now.
Yeah,
there's no team near him at all.
That's right. That shrine might go down.
And he
started it and then walked away, and now he's trying to start it again, and he might get it. All right, he's killed off the shrine and blinks away. Well done, Mike. Shrine secured.
When they first started running this Abaddon, I remember the really early builds where he would go like Vlad's mech, just super tanky, and all he would do is right-click towers. He would actually just like ignore the game and just chill at the building in the middle of the fight, and it was the most weird thing ever. But yeah, Radiance being online, he's gonna catch up a little more, I guess, with the rest of the cores in this game. He was way behind for a long time, but Radiance is definitely going to help him out, especially with this aggressive playstyle he likes to do.
So Duop start to make their play towards the bottom lane. Freedom are going to top a little bit. They can definitely react quite a few places here. PSJ is hanging out at mid for a little bit longer, taking a catapult away from the dire side, and it was on fire for a while. That's the remnants of whatever they were doing there. I don't know. How do you set catapults on fire? Oh, swap back for the Biryu. Hold that thought. It's going to be a magic missile coming in. Also relocate. They just absolutely blow up Biryu, and they wanted to get a little bit more. Here comes the Dark Rift, pulling them back from the base. Eagle is going to stay safe. Juby! Okay, that will be the Omni Slash put out onto him. Way too far inside, and with him being down, he might even think about buying back to try to fight this, but relocate's still down for 42 seconds, so there's not really all that much they can do here as the creeps start to go for the base a little bit more.
No, I mean, you just back up and call that a reset. The Roche is still... Yeah, you've got some time. Not looking to do anything stupid.
Shadow Fiend, he's going to keep his farm going, sending the courier out to the secret shop for his moon shard. He wants to keep scaling here, so actually still has a TP scroll in the inventory in lieu of the Daedalus.
I love Doom's armor total right now. 6 base armor plus 42. Shiva's Vlad's...
That's 48. 6 plus
What?
42. It's 48.
Wow, math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that sometimes. That's why I go to college.
We actually have a little bit of time to balance. He actually didn't choose Devouring Ancient, so he could have grabbed that Talon up here and then picked up the Thunder Lizard and buffed up the Shadow Fiend even more. But opting for the Infernal Blade damage, realizing how long these fights are taking and how much value he's going to get. And the bot's on
there's
Mike
going to be
here.
the blink, and they're looking for Snake King. Eagle Scepter up in
No
the air.
Dark
I don't know if Snake King even saw it. He was just trying to run up. He gets down the Pit of Malice, which is, I guess, the no-no button. They're not allowed to push into that anymore.
Doing some Gandalf stuff right there. None shall pass.
And also, Eagle's going to be picked off a little bit by 737. He has a swap available. He keeps acting like he's going to try to swap Tomato in. Tornado's not going to pick him off, but Ike's Mike is going to be a stop for a little bit. BSJ going forward. He just wants to get through that ice wall.
He's stuck.
It's taking so long.
You're never leaving this pit.
And Snake King gets the Dark Ripped out. Nobody wants to play anymore. No one wants to play that game.
He got being blasted back deeper into the pit. He literally still stuck in it. Oh,
poor BSJ. He even got sunstruck there.
Stupid hero.
And actually, Biryu's going to be right on time with the Roshan. Freedom are pretty close to the pit with Ike's Mike getting hexed up in the mid lane again. Still has the borrowed time. Gets a lot of mana back from the Guardian Greaves as well. And Roshan's going to be respawned.
For dear life, that thing's never good.
He just wants more. He wants to start up a collection.
Maybe. Double cheese.
Freedom are near the Roshan pit. Sunstrike is going to scout out Cardi, that's keeping a close eye on the big guy, and Freedom start to walk in. Tomato, who's going to be there?
So fast.
Yeah.
That is fast.
Well, BSJ is going to be the one to pick up the Aegis, and Cheese goes out to IX Mike. It looks like GB's a little bit crestfallen at that one. I think he wanted to get a little bit more.
Cheese is passable, and there's a 30-second cooldown on it, so there's no real reason to have both. Okay. Can't really use both effectively in a normal team fight, but in a Freedom team fight, who knows? Yeah, you can always pass it back if you have to.
Yeah, you can always pass the cheese around. Why are you sad?
He didn't go the full mobile fountain build. He opted for the 120 GPM instead of health regen, which, don't get me wrong, probably the better choice, but definitely less fun.
So are there any other talents that we want to talk about here?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, Venge is closing in on level 25, just hit 24. At that point, you've either got to make the decision. I'm almost sure she's going to go the aura damage. I don't think they care about her stat at all. That's been a fairly non-factor ever since all these Lincolns got picked up. And to get 20% bonus damage on the Shadow Fiend, the crits are going to clear like 1600. So I imagine we're going to see that picked up, and maybe they're kind of holding back on that. They do have the Aegis now, so probably go. I mean, Earth Spirit's level 25 talent adds a ton of damage to Rolling Boulder, but at this stage of the game, do you really want to roll in as Earth Spirit? You're probably just going to get two.
Yeah, but you're probably going to get two-shot anyway.
True. AoE Deafening Blast being picked up means they're prepping more for the team fight. Tornado cooldown is insanely good at trying to hold. It basically cuts that down to 7-second cooldown with Octarine. It's insanely low. But either way, opting for the AoE deafening, which is the better fight skill. Doctor and Earth Spirit aren't even close to 5. Their talent's probably relevant this game. The Jug one I think is a little bit interesting. 20 Agi is a little bit better for man fighting carries, but Blade Fury DPS makes it so if you have to Blade Fury defensively, you still have some actual damage. Spell's damage is so irrelevant at this stage in the game at 155, but if you can make it 320, it's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, for sure. He's working towards the butterfly.
Underlord went the None Shall Pass talent, doubling the duration of roots.
I mean, when you can keep BSJ for T and maybe a little bit more at night, may as well, right?
Yeah, it's nuts. That hero is just crazy. I think even if Freedom wins this next game, it's been such a problem all game for.
A lot of teams do first ban it.
It's just so hard to play against.
Actually, honestly, Team Freedom might decide to pick it up if they have first pick.
Yeah, they might.
Mike has played that before. They actually had the option this time around, but they chose to go for the Abaddon first.
Yeah, which was surprising to me.
It's not surprising because it's IX Mike, but still.
Yeah, that's true. There's still tier lists, man. There's still heroes that are better than others. But so if you look at 747, he has the full Invoker build done. Ag's Refresher Octarine. He is going to be the guy to watch in this team fight. If he can get off all 14 spells effectively twice, then they may have a shot at winning the fight. But...
Oh no, Pit of Malice is keeping Abaddon in, and Varian might just push him back.
Wow.
Guardian Graves will end the borrow time, should keep him alive for now. IX Mike blinking out thanks to his borrow time, and he's got a Yule Scepter available. There will be a TP through. IX Mike getting the Yule Scepter up, and they're not going to save him any longer. It's just way too much Mike to save.
Gem down. The Jube's reload is still on cooldown. So they couldn't bring the whole army in, and I think that BSJ had to just not to go for that TP. But Tomato is ready to fight. Got his Blink Dagger in the backpack, so as soon as he pops his BKB, he can swap that out.
He's already swapping it out now. Because he's actually going for Biryu. Biryu taking a lot of damage from BSJ, and okay, see ya. Have fun.
I mean, insanely smart from him there. Just to swap the blink in, understanding if I can blink in and get 2 autos off. He's got the SNY back in the inventory now. He just grabbed it for that little pick off there.
Tornado being the Uber driver for Juby and BSJ, just stopping them from any kind of aggression that they might want to give out.
That's what I think most of us, like, I know Capitalist and I were talking about that the backpack opens up so many options for team backpacking. These refreshers. Oh, fuck.
Was that on purpose?
He forced that himself up that hill.
That's what I thought. I'm like, why would he move up there? I will be caught out quite a bit by the Sun Straiku, but he still has an urn.
I'm not sure what Tomato got scared of, but he did press, and it was a 9-second BKB.
I was in the backpack now, so he just wanted to be efficient with it. He wanted to say, I've got a BKB, and now I don't.
See, it's a little dangerous to backpack your BKB like that, though, because you're committing it being down for 2 full minutes, because items in backpack come back at half the cooldown. So, yeah, a little rough from him there. I'm probably happy with that, to be honest. He committed a life that is, for the most part, meaningless. He has 6,000 net worth. It's not that high of a level for a 9-second BKB charge.
Those charges go. I'm looking at them now. He switches it back over to into his item. What do you even call the normal item group?
Your
now?
inventory.
Inventory. Yeah, that. I'm so glad you're here.
I know. I'm useful some days.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna put that back into his inventory, as they call it, and so that it's gonna go back to the regular cooldown.
I mean, this is something I'm so happy. Like, the number of teams that are starting to use backpacks. BSJ there was swapping his Helm of Damen while his creep wave is taking that wave just to add some extra HP.
BSJ throws out the Doom onto the Underlord, and Tomato starts to work on those racks. It will be a Fortify coming through, and BSJ takes a large damage. That will be a BKB being popped, and that's worth focusing down Juby, and they should be able to take down that melee racks and maybe back away right after it. Tomato possibly getting caught out. They haven't taken down the melee racks. There it will go, and Relocate takes him out. And just a very short distance away, already popping his BKB there. I might be thinking about the Requiem on the high ground, but they're out of the BKB charge, and it's just going to be Juby dying here. Tried to get a TP out during it, though.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did.
No, his TP's still
No, he
up.
didn't. Still up. Okay, well, he didn't.
So this is where Up's going to try to get something back. The Dark 4 Heroes bottom. The Invoker obviously has Boots of Travel. And he did swap out the Refresher for a Bloodthorn.
Oh no, Eagle. He wants to die. He's going to pop his BKB and try to get out. Now you are still chasing him down. Has the Omni Slash available, but he can't get in range for anything.
That was odd. He didn't want to commit the Omni. He could have Omni'd very early on there and then Abyssal during the Omni Slash. But maybe he was afraid of the swap out. Away. He holds that skill, and they're going to try to get high ground here, or at least try to poke at it.
I don't think they're going to be able to. I mean, it's just like Freedom can't kill them before they get the tier 3 tower down, and then maybe the racks. There's going to be the Tornado EMP combo, and you are in the middle of everything, and he'll put out the Omni Slash, but these guys are a little bit tanky underneath the shrine as well, so really difficult to kill Freedom right now. BSK lead the way. The effects almost make me think that the Rax was gone even with the tier 3 up. I don't know how that possibly works. But now Snake King puts down another Pit of Mouse. Can he even get away though? You'll Sceptered up. IX Mike just blinking forward. And he'll slam down Snake King, who still has the buyback available.
They didn't even have to burn Jay's buyback for that. And they held it without a problem. So one of the nice little benefits, Photic shields and kind of just runs into the wave. Once Stuart pops that, the creep wave kind of just falls over and dies. If we saw that the way that fight went, the creep wave instantly died, and the last wave was like back here. Fast that creep wave died, really couldn't do anything. I just stuck sitting there, not pushing. So Freedom gearing up, they're gonna go right back in. They're gonna easily force back here on Underlord. And if you're Freedom, you might just back up here, but
they forced out the buyback on Snake King, and now Tomorrow's going to get caught out a lot. Juby has the relocate down for another 50 seconds, but they get it swapped away by the Vengeful Spirit. Mike getting caught out in the pit mouth. BSJ going forward. He has the Refresher Orb actually bought up right now as he just runs in. He's got the Doom out into Underworld as BSJ still taking large damage from UR, but now he's got to turn around because Tomorrow's going to work on the backside. IX Mike gained the Guardian Greaves off, and still going to go in here. Tomato up, healing up so much thanks to Juby, but the Pit of Mouth is going to keep them in after everything's gone. Now Juby turned into a pig. Pig balls.
Juby is going to tether BSJ cheese. Saving it for Tomato though.
Cheese yet. And well, he still hasn't used it, and these guys are just getting surrounded. And now Ice Mike, I think, uses his own cheese. Snake King getting forced away by BSJ. That Dark Rift is not going to do anything here. Another Omni Slash out by Juggernaut, but now he's going to come back with very low health and immediately blown up by Tomato. Looking for 747. Now buyback on the Juggernaut. Freedom are very low. There's a Refresher up to 747, throwing out another Deafening Blast, getting away with the Ghost Walk. Tomato will finally die, and that might be most of the damage that Freedom had. Another borrowed time from IX Mike. Octarine Orb helping him out quite a bit. BSJ still trying to back away, and this fight is just so long. Another swap out by Eagle. They'll blow him up, but Freedom, they will be able to back away with most of their other members. Beer, you can't find much. Sunstrike off the mark. Juby out, and IX Mike wants to go back in. Okay. He has another bar of time, and BSJ is here with Juby as well. Tomato's still dead for another 60 seconds. BSJ wants that tier 3, using the BKB to try to get to the back lines. Borrow time used on Abaddon, and that relocate finally pops for Juby, getting him out of trouble. I don't even know what's happening this game. BSJ using that refresher on himself. He'll have another. That was already the refresher BKB on him. So IX Mike getting chased away. Norbar time for another 18 seconds, but he has him the Yule Scepter. It'll actually blink thanks to the Aphotic Shield. Another Aphotic Shield onto him. Yule Scepter, what is even happening right now? Pit of Mouth, and finally they kill the Abaddon. But it took so much time.
This is why I love Freedom. I mean, it's just It's just these weird fights. Like, BSJ had about 10% health that entire team fight from his initial little siege on the building, and Jube is still just tunneled onto Tomato. He could have just tethered and cheesed and popped both of them full and gotten back in the fight, but nope. They are absolutely just looking to protect that man. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong again, but I believe Roche spawns in about seconds.
You are right this time.
Could mean a Duop Roche this game. But I don't know if Duop even wants to wait. They may want to try to get Mike's buyback out here and try to get something out of this. I don't even know if you can call it a win. 3 buybacks committed.
We'll have to see. Duop using so much for that one. It's just really an issue of if Freedom can start pushing that soon. 747 taking care of the racks, taking a lot of damage here, getting forced out with the Ghost Walk, and now snaking into the fight, throwing down a pit mouse, zoning away Team Freedom. BSJ, he's, I think, still got his buyback available. Yeah, it's still up for him. Now he's going to be taking a huge amount of damage. Nice swap away by Eagle once again. BSJ using the BKB to stay alive. Eagle will end up dying. They'll pop the shrine, but Eagle can't get back to it. And he's so far in. He's just in so deep. Tomato wants to put damage onto anything that he sees with the BKB, throwing out the Requiem. And Eagle, they might be... Okay, Snakey's going to actually get them all out with the Dark Rift.
Yeah,
but BSJ is going to work, or sorry, Tomato's going to work on the base. They will be able to arrive there just in time. And Shadow Fiend is still going. Bomba out. They get the relocate. And Ice Mike wants to get in on the fun as well. He's going to blink away from the tornado. Nearly got himself caught up in that one.
That was
oh my
so
gosh.
Close. Yeah, this is kind of... I don't even know what you can call it at this point. Everyone's so huge. Everyone has so many items. Freedom sees this Roche being up, and it's... Duop can't even... It's just gone.
Yeah, there was a time if Duop maybe backed off a little bit that they would have been able to take this one, but the threat of the relocate is always so real from Juby. So it's starting to get to the extent where if Duop try to do anything on the map without buyback being up, they could run into some huge problems as Biryu going to be running into some pretty soon, actually rolling out, and here comes the TP in onto the Wild Wing. Eagle's going to be popping in there, looking for some vision for the swap. It's going to be knocked back a little bit thanks to Definitely Blast, and Freedom are still going on the mid lane. I don't even know if Duop can get here fast enough. They're going to TP back. 7%
using your bots
to hold
when you're
it.
like 5 seconds away. You just have to, though.
But over on the bottom lane, they're going to BKB go right for the melee racks, and Juby will use the BKB as well. Tomato taking in so much damage from this one, and Juby cannot keep him safe with relocate being down. Now we've got IX Mike backing away.
Mike is going to go for the
He's gone for the megas. He's actually got the megas.
Mike's going to grab the bottom racks here.
Yeah.
Oh, the Abyssal? Put it up?
No, it's not on cooldown for another 15 seconds. That's the megas for Team Freedom. Now it is the task of Duop to try to hold this as the creeps start to work on the base. BSJ backing away from the mid lane, possibly even thinking about going in. The Aegis,
no, he's trying to give
Jube
a way out. Trying to give Jube a way out there with the tether. Wasn't going to come.
I didn't even realize that they put the Aegis on the Jube. Why would you expect it on a Wisp? I guess everybody's just so full up on items. Eventually, BSJ does die. IX Mike the only one on Team Freedom without a buyback right now, but the Duop base is in shambles. It's... That's an obscene gold change. 8,700 gold below Duop.
And so, I mean, gotta hold megas. Problem you get when you get into this situation, yeah, you wipe them. You almost have to force buybacks here. Gotta leave one guy back in base to hold, maybe 2, and you have to get buybacks out. Because if you don't get buybacks here, Freedom holding their base with essentially a 9 or 10 hero lineup is just way too much to handle with the creeps pushing into your base. So we're gonna see Duop go for the kind of final YOLO push, just shoving in and seeing what happens.
They're actually going to go right for the tier 4s right now, trying to force out some Freedom buybacks, and they will start to come out in Urs. Only one tier 4 going down, snaking into the fight. BSJ trying to force him out with the Shiva's Guard, and he'll be soaking him so much damage here. But now the Omni Slash going all around, and he was actually got the Lotus Orb out there, and Freedom might be losing too much. Duop might be doing it. Tomato going forward. That's the BKB, but it doesn't matter. Duop, they just took game number 1 of this best of 5 away from Team Freedom.
What just happened?
It's a late game, man.